Pete'sTools.com.
G'day guys, Pete's Tools, great to see you here again today. Another awesome day on my side of the world. It's looking good out there, might go for a swim later. So today what the old get's going on about, guys, is the difference between flux core wire and solid core wire. I know a lot of you guys are new to welding that come and view my channel, so I just thought I'd just explain a little bit the differences between the two wires and the two different welding processes. Then you'll be able to decide which is best for you if you're just starting to weld, and which is the cheapest option, and all those sort of good things, you know, guys. Anyway, guys, same as usual, you like my videos, subscribe, drop me a like, drop me a comment. Come say good day to the git in the comments down below, and I'll tell you what I've learned about the different sorts of wires, guys. Yeehaw! Right, this is inside my MIG welder, guys, and this is a 15 kg roll of solid core wire. As you can see, it's a huge roll. You see that there, guys? It's a big roll of wire like so, and it's solid core, meaning that to weld with this wire, you need to have some sort of shielding gas so that it will actually help you weld, otherwise your weld won't stick. I'll give you a little demonstration of using this wire without any shielding gas, what it does. Rightio guys, now I've got my solid core wire like I showed you just then. Now I haven't turned the gas on, and I'll show you what it does or it doesn't do. Check this out. See that awful splatter that's going everywhere? And if you ever look at this weld, or it's not a weld even, now can you see that, guys? It's actually burnt a hole in it. If you have a look here, there's a big bloody hole because it's got no shielding gas. What it's doing is it's spitting and farting all over the place, and it's just like burning holes in the steel. So now what we'll do is we'll do a little test, and I'll turn the gas on for you fellas, and then we'll see what happens. So now with exactly the same settings of the welder, guys, I'll just turn the gas on like so. See the needle go up there a little bit. You pull the trigger like that, and you can see the ball of gas coming up here. I'm actually using CO2 because it's a lot cheaper for me to use CO2 rather than an argon mix or something like that, but that's just what I use anyway. Right, so now we'll go and try another weld and see what it looks like, guys. Alright guys, same wire, just I've turned my gas on, see what this looks like. What do you reckon, guys? Can you tell the difference? Alright guys, these are the first attempts we had. See, it's burning a hole in it, no gas. Burning a hole in it once again, and then we go over to the gas one here. As you can see, it's starting to look a bit more like a weld because we have the shielding gases, and it's actually shielding the wire so it can actually stick to what you're doing. Well, that's the best way I can explain it anyway. Whereas this is just like burning straight through your steel because there's nothing to shield it. So that was just a solid core wire, guys. Now this is flux core. I just brought this today to show you guys. So we'll take this out of here and I'll show you the difference. Now this is a 5 kg roll of flux core. I don't know how many pound that is. 12 pound, 12.5 pound maybe. And you're going to say, Pete, that looks exactly the same as the other wire. Yeah, but there's a big difference, guys. As you can see, it's a different colour right from the word go. But it's not the colour that we're concerned about. We take the wire out of here. Right, now let me go and get a normal bit of solid core wire and I'll show you. So guys, this is my flux core wire, my nice new roll here. And this is my solid core wire here, and you're going to say, Pete, it's exactly the same. Well, no, it's not. Solid core, hence by the name, is just solid wire. Flux core here, hence by the name, is flux core. It's got flux in the inside of it. Now, I don't know if you know what flux is or not, but what I do is I equate it to soldering. You guys ever done any soldering, you know, electronic components and that sort of thing? And you have solder here. And if you note with solder, guys, this has got a flux in it as well. It's got a core of flux, which is exactly the same as your welding wire. So basically, your flux core welding wire is exactly the same as solder when you're soldering. So anyway, that's as clear as mud, Pete. But anyway, that's how I explain it. So this is like soldering with a MIG welder, basically. So now guys, what we'll do is we'll go and put this coil of wire into my MIG welder, and then we'll do some welding with the gasless wire, and I'll show you the difference. Yeah, Grandma. So what we want to do, guys, is cut this roll of wire out of here. And if you're doing this, make sure that you don't let the end go because it'll go flying and then you'll have wire spewing out everywhere. So I just cut it and just get it. You'll find there's little holes on the side of these reels. Just find the nearest hole and poke it through and bend it over. And yeah, that'll stop it from unraveling everywhere. just like that. Just bend it over so we can just hook it up next time, so it won't be that hard to hook up. And take that out of there. Oh, it's quite heavy, this one. Oh, put them down on the ground, Pete. And then we'll get a nice new roll of flux core. And when you're loading this in, guys, you guys might have a smaller welder, you might only have a 2-pound roll. Just make sure that you're getting your pickup from the bottom. In other words, so that it unravels from the bottom, so you're not going over the top, otherwise you'll jam it up. So we'll grab the bottom of it and then feed it out, and make sure that you cut the end off so that it's quite straight before you go into the rolls, otherwise you can end up with jam ups. Feed it through there, guys. And being a flux core wire, this is quite soft, this wire, so when you're doing up your dry rollers, make sure that you don't do it as tight as what you do with normal stuff. So just remember to watch your tension on here, guys. Sometimes you just better to back it off and just go up a little bit at a time, because you'll find it'll bird's nest or it'll crush the wire completely because it hasn't got a solid core on it. Alright, got it in there. Turn the welder on, Pete. Wait for it to come out of the end of the torch. That doesn't seem to be crushing the wire, it seems to be feeding it through alright, guys, so you can feel it coming up the torch. We just stopped here. Can you hear this, guys? What that means is that we've come up to here and it's jammed, so we'll just take the shield off, undo that, you hear that click? There we go, and we're through. Tighten it back up again. Sometimes that wire will just get stuck just before it goes out of the contact tip. So just remember that, guys, just take the shield off and just give it a little tweak and it should come through, no worries at all. Now with this wire we don't actually need the gas shield because we're not using gas, so we can actually get rid of this altogether. Yeah! So guys, this is using the new flux core wire, no gas. That's quite a nice sounding weld, that, guys. I think it is anyway. Now you might notice something different here, guys. Now can you see, guys, this here has got a lot of sort of stuff covering it, whereas this weld here hasn't, and that one there is just disgusting. This is slag on top, because what it is the flux is basically on top of the weld, so what you have to do with flux core welding is take that slag off to make a decent looking weld. Now you're supposed to use a chipping hammer, but Pete's got a pair of pliers and that'll do me. So what I'm saying, guys, this you don't have to take the slag off because it's gas shielded, but if you're using gasless wire or flux core wire, you do. Now if I just clean that up there with a wire brush, there you go. By no means perfect, but you can stick shit together with it and you didn't have to buy gas. But having said that, guys, the gasless wire I found was about 3 times the price of solid core wire. But then again, if you're using solid core wire, you've got to buy a bottle of gas, which I run CO2, so it cost me about 100 New Zealand dollars for a huge bottle of CO2. But it just depends how often you're going to use your welder. Anyway, that's Pete's boring lesson for the day. So guys, that's Pete's bit of useless information for the day. Anyway, I just thought I'd try and help you out, you know, because when I first started, I didn't even know what flux core was. I didn't know there was a choice. I thought you had to have a gas bottle and all that drama. So anyway, guys, whether you're using solid core wire or whether you're using flux core wire, remember, welding's fun. Give it a go. Anyone can learn to do it. If this silly old person here can learn to do it, anyone can do it. You know what I was going to say, don't you? Anyway, guys, same as usual, like my videos, subscribe, drop me a like, drop me a comment, come say good day to the old get in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Pete'sTools.com